Gettin geek. Gettin geek. Gettin geek with Danny Allen. Gettin geek. Gettin geek. Gettin geek with Danny Allen.
All right. Hello, everybody. Hello. And you're listening and watching Getting Geeked with Danny Allen, your host, me, your boy. Yeah, another week. Lots of news. Another week down. Lots of stuff has happened this week. Marvel is in the news. Blade loses a director. Armor Wars. Deadpool 3 with Logan. Weapon X. Let's go. We're going to talk about it. American Pie Reboot. Wow. I talk about the Munsters. Tarzan movie from Sony. Sony just got the rights. Power Rangers news regarding the 30th anniversary. And last but not least, the Avatar: The Last Airbender cast has been revealed. Like 20 people. I'm not going to go down the whole list. I'm going to give my overall impressions, my thoughts. Let's get into this stuff. Let's go. This week has been wild, man. One thing after another with Marvel, regarding this Deadpool news. James Mangold is not upset. He was like, "Oh, you're gonna bring back Logan after I already did it? After I already killed him? We'll talk about it." I'm getting ahead of myself. Lots of news, man. I watched the Munsters. Did Rob Zombie knock it out of the park with the Munsters? Were the Munsters even that great to begin with? We're gonna talk about it, guys. Do I care about a Tarzan movie from Sony? Well, let's get into that in a little bit. What am I going to start with? Who knows? I'm loosey-goose with this stuff. I'm loosey-goose. Okay. Let's get real, though. First topic today. American Pie is getting a reboot, a fresh take, according to the Hollywood Reporter. Sarjada is her name or something, the director. Listen. I said this before on in a shorter video on TikTok. If you're gonna do American Pie, you gotta bring back the original cast. Why? Because that's what makes American Pie successful. We've had spin-offs without the original cast. Jim's dad was in there. And those films, for what they were pretty good for the time. And having Jim's dad in those movies gave it some street cred. Like, okay, we see you. You're still in the universe. We'll let it slide. We gave those a pass. We had Girls Rules come out in 2020 with Stifler, like an offshoot, like a cousin, or I don't even remember. Girl version of Stifler, and it just wasn't. The script wasn't there. The cast, it didn't have the camaraderie like the original cast. So when I'm hearing that they're going to do, I don't know if it's another direct to DVD or direct to streaming now. If this is going to be another spin-off kind of thing, an American Pie Presents kind of thing, this is being pitched, I'm aware, as a fresh take on American Pie. It's just going to be called American Pie. It's going to be a reboot, a remake. Especially if it's not in universe, it's just a remake at this point. Like the Child's Play movie with Mark Hamill voicing Chucky. A remake. Now, if they make this American Pie movie with a whole new cast, and then maybe in the last act, we find out it's actually connected to the first movie and some cast members show up. Okay, if they're that clever with the script and they're trying to fool us or whatever, I'm just thinking Universal isn't that smart. If they have any of the original cast involved, they're going to use them to market the movie. Because American Pie, as a name, as a brand, it's more about those core characters than just American Pie, the title. This isn't a National Lampoon type of thing. American Pie is a very specific thing, an era. It's a time capsule. It's a capsule of the late 90s, early 2000s, like pop punk era, teen movie. Like, it's not just a teen movie. It's a whole thing. It's hard to explain to these Gen Z people. They're going to put their Gen Z stuff onto it when in reality American Pie is the early 2000s aesthetic. So unless they're just going to be cosplaying that era, because that's what Gen Z does now, it's just cosplaying the 90s and the 2000s. Different conversation. But I'm right. I'm very skeptical. I'm skeptical about this American Pie reboot. I'm not saying I'm supporting it, but I will watch it. Simply because American Pie is one of the best comedies of all time. Put in like top 10 comedies. It's easily in the top 10. Like the term MILF was invented in that movie. Shermanator. There's just so many iconic things from that movie. Saying you're doing a fresh take on it, you're not doing it any favors. You have huge shoes to fill. Huge. So why go up that hill? Why go that far? Why go into it? And why go so deep into this? My take is so good. My American Pie take is so good. This is gonna be a whole fresh take. We're gonna ignore everything else. It's that good of a take. Like, dude, that's like the most, like, not it's like egotistical, like, is a strong way to look at it, but it's like you think your take is better than what American Pie is, that you're gonna ignore everything. Same thing goes for this Halloween reboot trilogy and H2O and Resurrection. They wanted a reboot. They want to ignore 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6 of Halloween. Our take is so much better and so much more important and so much, like, we're gonna ignore everything else. It's like, don't add, like, they're doing the opposite of Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai embraced the legacy of all the movies. They brought everybody back. They did everybody justice. Everybody had their characters go from a kind of a one-dimensional character from Karate Kid and now they are like fully, a full character arc has been given to all these characters, and they are stronger characters for it. So, and they kind of did that with American Reunion, but bringing all the original cast back will just add to that level of character. It's been another 10 years for those characters. Their kids are grown. I know. Jim's kid is probably 16. How old was he in American Reunion? He was like 2 or 3. 3. So if he was 3 years old in Reunion, he's 16 now. By the time this movie comes out, hypothetically, that's high school era. Jim is now his dad, and he's the guy that has to shepherd his son through high school or whatever the fuck. It's just, I don't know. It writes itself, dude. What are you doing, Universal? What's going on here? I might be overreacting, but it's just like American Pie is very niche already, and it has a very diehard audience. I don't think rebranding American Pie to a fresh, like, oh, we're gonna sell it to Gen Z, like, you're not gonna get that many eyes on it. They already have their versions of American Pie for Gen Z. They have tons of their movies that they like. What was a recent one on Hulu? Crush, about the two lesbians or whatever. They already had that on. Like they already have their movies representing their generations. The Revenge one, the Do Revenge on Netflix. It's got everybody in it from Riverdale, and all the Gen Z kids are in that. Kids that are my age, are in their 20s, playing high schoolers or college or whatever. Yeah, high school to college. They're already represented. So to try to turn American Pie into this Gen Z thing is, I don't know. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna keep my minds open. I'm gonna watch it. Depending on the trailer, I'll know immediately if I'm gonna fuck with it or not, and you guys are gonna be the first ones to know about it. Coming up next, let's get into Marvel. There's 3 things I want to talk about with Marvel. Number 1, Blade loses his director. They were a few weeks out from filming the movie. 3 to 6 weeks out, I think, from filming the movie, and the director was fired. Dude, I didn't want this movie to begin with. I didn't want it, dude. They are not even... The script was 90 pages and there's only 2 action sequences in a Blade movie. And you now announced this movie 3 years ago and you don't even have your script locked down? Don't make this movie. Don't make this movie. Mahershala Ali has been waiting for 3 years to play Blade. This will be the test for him. How committed to this character he is. This is a test. How down are you, bro? How bad do you want to be Blade? We might have to make you wait another 2 years. If they don't hire a director in the next few weeks, month or 2, dude, they were already supposed to shoot this movie. They're not going to meet that release date. It's not happening. So this is going to be a real commitment test for Mahershala. How bad do you want Blade? And if they lose Mahershala, bring back Wesley Snipes. He's got all the time in the world. You know he'll come back as Blade. And you know why they're having problems with this script? Because it has to be PG-13. Because they can't outdo the blood rave sequence. Because they can't make it better than Blade 2 with Guillermo del Toro's directing style. How awesome, how elevated Blade 2 is when you have Blade 1 was already iconic with the rave 90s aesthetic with Frost and the whole alternative aesthetic of that movie. The era. New Line killed it. They killed it. That's an iconic top 10. That's top 5 comic book movies of all time. Blade 1. So yeah, I know why they're not having this script ready. I know why they're scared to push this out. Because they did it, not Disney, but they tried to do a TV series with Blade. And this is a movie, obviously, but they did a TV series with Blade, but without Mahershala. And it flopped, dude, because it's not Wesley. And now they have the card stacked against them. They don't want it to be R-rated. Like, Blade was already R-rated. You already have this standard set. And you're going against, and you're going to give us a subpar already. Same thing with Daredevil. We already have TVMA, raunchy, violent version of Daredevil. You already have the standard set. And now because you have Disney, kid-friendly, family-friendly, they have to give us a subpar product. They have to. It's going to be subpar. They can't give it. The only thing that's R-rated now is Deadpool. That's it. Kevin Feige says the only thing that's going to be R-rated is Deadpool. Blade's not going to be R-rated. Dude, why are you making rules for yourself like this? Like, you're writing yourself into a corner. They're vampires. Morbius was fine, but if it was R-rated, they could have took it to a whole new level. And because they couldn't, because they're scared to market to adults or whatever, because they didn't take it to that new level, it flopped. And it was whack. It was mid. Mid Hulk. She-Hulk. She-Mid. Everybody, Hawkeye saying Hawkeye's mid. Look what they did with Kingpin. It's like, dude, I didn't think Kingpin was whack, but everybody's saying that he was watered down and he made him. Everybody was hokey and jokey and like they're too scared to take these characters seriously. Like people are excited for Secret Invasion because it looks like a thriller, like a going back to the Civil War. That's all they have. They can't do violence like vampires, dude. They're scared to use blood. They're scared to do anything in frame. Moon Knight. Oh, let's cut it away when he's doing all the cool, crazy kills and shit. Nah, you know what Daredevil would do? They let the camera there, and they let the fight play out, and they followed him slowly through a hallway, through a whole apartment building. Slowly, we see everything. No cutaways. Disney is cutaways, bro. They're scared to give you quality content. They have to give us 30-minute chunks of dialogue, of funny, quippy humor, and they'll sprinkle in some CGI. Like, oh, it's the MCU. Like, dude, people are over it. Give us some quality shit. That's why they're struggling with Blade, which is why I'm talking about this whole thing. That's why they're struggling with Blade, because they're having trouble writing a quality script within the confinements of being PG-13. And you're already stacked against 2 great Blade films. We can talk about Blade Trinity. I don't have a problem with it. I grew up with Blade Trinity. People apparently hated it. And obviously it wasn't as great as 1 or 2, but it was still pretty fucking good. It's still good. It's good. Go rewatch it. It's got Dracula. Come on. But Blade 1 and 2, guys, they set such a high standard and a high bar. If you're not going to top that, or at least give us something close to it, don't even give it to us. Don't even try to do it. Why are you guys... You think we're going to like... Well, people are going to watch it regardless. But how many times, guys, are they going to give you a subpar movie? People are complaining about Multiverse of Madness. People were complaining about Thor: Love and Thunder's humor. How underwritten She-Hulk is. It's like, how many more times are you guys going to allow and give Marvel Studios, Disney your money? How long are you gonna take it? They need to be reined in. Kevin Feige spread too thin, apparently. Every day should be like, okay, I'm handling She-Hulk business on Monday. I'm handling Daredevil on Tuesday. I'm doing whatever. And then like one project every day. And on Friday, like anything else that needs attention on Fridays, it's a mixed day for me. Come to my office and we'll coordinate everything there. It's like, dude, like Kevin's been doing this for like 30 years. I'm sure he knows what he's doing. At least we all thought. But now apparently he's spreading too thin. He's taken on the task of not only running the movies, but the television. Marvel Television used to be its own thing. That's why people are having trouble with this canon debate with the Netflix shows. Are they canon? Are they not canon? Well, they're canon to the MCU, but it's not canon to the MCU. Yeah, the MCU exists within the Netflix shows, but the Netflix shows don't exist within the MCU. It's only like a one-way thing, and the Daredevil is going to be a variant, and the Kingpin's going to be a variant. Like, this is what the people are saying. I'm thinking they were snapped away, and now they have to redevelop their lives. Like, obviously, that's what they're doing. It's just frustrating, dude, because we already have R-rated Marvel content, and now they just want us to accept PG-13, flatly written content because it's all in the MCU and it's all one banner now. We're supposed to accept mediocrity. McDonald's? Yeah, McDonald's is fire. Try eating McDonald's every single day. Every time. Same thing every time. It's hard. Gotta switch it up, man. Gotta switch it up. Anyways, what do you guys think about this Blade news? That's the first thing I want to talk about. Blade, let me know. Second thing, and I'm just kind of ramping up here. Armor Wars. Do I care about Armor Wars? Don Cheadle, War Machine. Oh, he should have died at the end of Civil War. It was a cop-out that he survived. They shortchanged Iron Man's development, dude. Like, him dying would have would have given some stakes to that whole movie. And it is what it is. So now he's getting Armor Wars. It was a series. It wasn't talked about at D23 or whatever. And now we know why. Because they're turning it into a movie. This is going to probably be good news. Instead of giving us 6 to 8 episodes of a stretched out story, you're going to put all the money into this movie. Probably not 2.5 hours. Probably going to be a 2-hour movie with a bigger budget, tighter script. That's what I'm hoping for. So not too much to talk about when it comes to Armor Wars, other than I'm excited but not excited. It's bottom tier for my excitement. War Machine was never my favorite character. It's Iron Man light, pretty much. No disrespect to Don Cheadle, to the character or whatever. It's just not for me. It is what it is, man. Like, War Machine. Okay, cool. He was never a character that really stuck out to me. And what they've given us with so far, he's not too much to hype up. It's, Don Cheadle's the man. Like, he was great in House of Lies and some other shit. But even when Terrence Howard was War Machine off screen, not really War Machine yet, but Rhodey, he was cool. He's no Peter Parker. He's not. You know what I mean. Armor Wars. What do you guys think? Are you upset that it's no longer a series and it's going to be a movie? I'm sure Don Cheadle's not upset about that, because now he gets some back end, and now he gets to be in the theaters, and now it's a movie, not just a streaming series. Because those old school actors, they like the theater. They like the movies. So whenever you have a choice between a movie and a series, I'm thinking people are gonna want the movie. But things are changing now. What do I know? And the final Marvel topic today. Let's get into this, guys. Deadpool 3 was announced. I talked a little bit about it. I'm gonna take tack. Berserker. Okay. Logan is coming back. Wolverine's coming back. Everybody knows. I'm not going to go over it. James Mangold, the director of Logan, retweeted a gif of the end of Logan. Getting him dying, basically. And then he's like, everybody chill. I was just playing. Ryan was like, bro, come on, man. We just announced this movie. Like, why you got to do this to us? That's what happened. James Mangold is like, chill out, no matter what timeline it is, no matter if it's canon, non-canon, whether it's a prequel. He laid out all the different scenarios, time travel, of which this movie can exist. And many people are just assuming it's going to be a variant, like in Loki, Spider-Man. They're assuming it's just going to be, or in Doctor Strange with Professor X, they're assuming it's just going to be an 838 variant of Wolverine. We saw Logan, not Logan, we saw Professor X 838, right? In Doctor Strange. So maybe this is an 838 version of Wolverine. Me personally, I would start the movie right after Days of Future Past ends, which is 2023. Logan goes back to the mansion. Professor X has to fill him in on what has happened in between Dark Phoenix, where he gets, not Dark Phoenix, Apocalypse, right? Yes, Jean Grey gives him a little piece of his memory back at the end of Apocalypse, a little cameo. He runs away, scurries off. We don't see Wolverine. We don't see what Wolverine was doing from in between Dark Phoenix and Days of Future Past in the new timeline. That's like the if Apocalypse was 1980, was it 83, because they went to see Return of the Jedi. Apocalypse was 83, so we don't know what Logan has been doing from 1983 to 2023. So you can do Deadpool 3 in any of that time period if you want to do it. Because eventually he shows back up, or eventually he wakes up in the bed in 2023 with his memories from fucking Days of Future Past, and like it finally catches up to him. So he has like a whole history, a whole life that 20 years he was living that he doesn't remember. And Professor X says, you have a lot to learn, you have a lot to catch up on. Okay, there you go. What if that Wolverine was already doing shit with Deadpool? That whole time. He could have been doing shit with Deadpool. And now he wakes up at the end of Days of Future Past. And he has to get filled in because he doesn't remember shit. Because he was drowning. So you can choose to have Deadpool from 1983. Probably not. Because Deadpool was more modern day, right? To 2023. All that could be explored. So for the last 10 years, him and Deadpool could have been doing shit. Or you can start after Days of Future Past, after he wakes up, after he talks to Professor X, gets his memories back, he sees Jean Grey alive, Cyclops is still alive. You know, leaving Logan out of the picture because they already stated, Ryan already said, we're not touching Logan. Deadpool comes out 2024. If it's set in that era, modern era, that's a year after Logan regains his memories in Days of Future Past. And all the X-Men are there. Everybody's alive again. It would be the whole team still alive. Deadpool could show up. And you can get everybody back in like one scene. And then he takes Logan on a road trip or something. On a mission. Something's going to happen. I just think that would be a great opportunity. Bring everybody back for a scene. Continue on in the timeline. Oh, the continuity, schmontinuity. The X-Men don't have a timeline. And they don't have a timeline. Listen, guys, if you watch the movies, it's very clear. There's two timelines. There's pre-Days of Future Past and after Days of Future Past. And Logan it could be after Days of Future Past if that's how you want to look at it. Or it's a separate alternate timeline. You know, mutants haven't been born in 20 years. But we don't know what's happened in those 20 years from after Dark Phoenix, which is like the 90s, early 90s. From the early 90s to the end of Days of Future Past, from Days of Future Past, we see some students. But what if those are the last of the students? Logan is 2029. So I don't know, guys. Logan could be a separate thing. But from all the other X-Men movies, X-Men Wolverine Origins, X-Men 1, 2, Last Stand, the Wolverine, Days of Future Past. That's the first timeline. And then the second timeline, First Class, Days of Future Past, Apocalypse, Dark Phoenix, New Mutants, Deadpool 2, Logan. That's how I look at it. But no, I don't know, continuity, schmontinuity. It's like, guys, the original events of the X-Men trilogy got erased, and those are gone, dude. Like, it's comprehension is important, people. Just because you can't comprehend the movies and the timeline that they laid out doesn't mean that it doesn't exist, and it's continuity, schmontinuity. Oh, but the Cyclops was in Origins is different than the Apocalypse. That's because Origins is a prequel to the first original X-Men movie, dude. And Apocalypse is the rewritten history. It doesn't happen. Origins doesn't happen anymore. The first X-Men doesn't happen anymore. All those events got erased. It doesn't mean they're not canon, because those have to happen in order to get the new timeline. It's cyclical. It happens for a reason. So in Deadpool 3, he can knock on the door, and Logan will fucking open the door to the mansion, and they'll go off in their journey in the year 2024. It could be a sequel to Days of Future Past, dude. I'm telling you, it's right there. And at the end of the movie, a wormhole opens up or something. Deadpool's like, they're both going together or whatever, and Logan gets left behind or something. And then that's the reason why Deadpool's the only one in the MCU. Like, they're going to do something like that, guys. Or, this is Marvel Disney now, but it's also Ryan. So I'm hoping they're not going to be lazy and just say, oh, it's an 838 variant. Because being a variant is just too easy. It's too easy. You're bringing back Hugh Jackman. And Deadpool already has cameos from the Dark Phoenix cast. So they're keeping in that continuity. So you open the movie with your Dark Phoenix era timeline, Days of Future Past timeline. Oh, but Jean Grey dies in Dark Phoenix. Okay, she dies in The Last Stand, or she dies in X2, and she still comes back to life. So if you watch Dark Phoenix, she's in the sky flying around. That's what happens at the end of X2, and then in the following movies, she's alive again. So having Jean Grey being in Days of Future Past doesn't mean Dark Phoenix isn't connected to that. Anyways, Deadpool 3. What do you guys think about Deadpool 3? Are you guys hyped for Wolverine, Hugh Jackman's triumphant return again? Do you think they should have left it alone and Logan is the definitive ending? What do you guys think about this news? Comment below and let me know. That's my Marvel news segment, guys. Coming up next, I watched The Munsters, Rob Zombie. People hate Rob Zombie. They have a personal vendetta to hate Rob Zombie's films whenever they get the chance. And I'm no diehard Rob Zombie fan. I liked his take on Halloween. That's a hot take, apparently. Halloween 2 wasn't as good as Halloween 1. As soon as there was ghosts and like unicorns, or the horse, I should say, it kind of threw me off a bit. It was definitely a more artsy take on Halloween, and that doesn't mean it's bad. It's just not for me. But the films were well directed. You can say that you don't like his script or his direction towards his take on the characters, but to say those movies weren't shot well or they're not well made films, that's just simply not true. Objectively, they're well made films. He chose to use a different camera, like film lens, a different aspect ratio. Like, there's creative choices being made there. Sometimes you may not like that, but oh well. So yeah, his Halloween films were pretty good. House of a Thousand Corpses is my favorite out of Devil's Rejects and Three from Hell. Out of Devil's Rejects he likes that washed out look now when it comes to his horror movies, like grays or browns, a lot of dirt. He films like in the desert a lot. When it was the House of a Thousand Corpses, there was a lot of blue lighting, green lighting, a lot of fog, a lot of atmosphere, and that's why I really dug the Munsters. He brought that kind of aesthetic back. If he wanted to say that they exist in that universe, I would believe it. Now, liking the aesthetic of a movie and liking the movie is kind of two different things. I was never a Munsters fan. It's just cornball to me, Like, what is this, Frankenstein? Like, that's in this, like, try-hard Dracula. That's what I thought when I was a kid watching the Munsters. And then you have the Addams Family, same kind of deal. But for some reason, the Addams Family was more iconic, probably because of the successful movies from the 90s that I grew up with. So the definitive, obviously the winner here is the Addams Family. But when it comes to the Munsters, Rob Zombie doesn't have that luxury of like a 90s version that exists. He has to go off of the 50s Munsters? The 80s? How long did the Munsters go for? He has this certain thing that he has to abide by, right? People want the black and white. They want the off humor still. They want it to be the show. He wasn't allowed to film it in black and white, we found out. So he had his hands tied. He's like, if I can't do it black and white, I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to get my lighting equipment out. I'm getting my blue lights out. I'm going to shoot this thing like a Beetleborgs episode. I'm going to get wacky with this thing. I'm going to have fun with it. He had fun with this. Was it a good movie? It was fine. When you have like What We Do in the Shadows, I think that's like the standard of like oddball humor with vampires and that kind of thing. That's gold standard right now. And then considering that this was a PG and he wanted to make it PG, that was his choice. I think if he would have done the thing that people thought he was going to do, it might have turned out to be a better flick. If this was like a PG-13 R, like a not hyper violent, just maybe the gore, he could have hyped up the gore aesthetic with the Munsters. It's not, you can do that. Like What We Do in the Shadows is gory, but it's not gory. But it's TVMA. But it's hilarious. So I can see what Rob Zombie was trying to do with the Munsters. And I enjoyed the fish out of water vibe when they go to Los Angeles. And like, where'd all the hot people go? Like all the freaks, like all the creepy looking people. I liked that fish out of water vibe. I people have a problem with his wife being the lead. You know, that's what he does. Adam Sandler brings his boys in his movies. Like these people, we know what we're getting when you're getting a Rob Zombie movie. So you got to set that aside when you're watching the flick. Now, if you don't like her performance, then that's something else. I didn't mind it. It reminded me of the Munsters. As far as like the length, it could have been 20 minutes shorter. But I'd rather have a beefy movie than like if it was too short and whack. It's like, well, it is what it is. I really dug it. Just, you can eat some edibles or whatever if you want something trippy to watch. If you want to like laugh out loud kind of thing, this really isn't it. But if you like this Halloween era type of thing, October rolls around and you want to put something on, you can throw this on, smoke a few bowls, you know what I'm saying, have a good time, watch the Munsters or whatever if it's on. It's not something I want to get the Blu-ray because there's a commentary. I want to watch the commentary and listen to the commentary. I would give this movie like a B, not like a C plus B. I'm not a huge Munsters fan, and I guess the Munsters fans really some people really love it and some people really hate it. They're not digging the lighting choices, but Homeboy couldn't shoot it in black and white the whole movie, so he's got his hands tied. What are you gonna do? I'm not trying to make excuses for the guy, but yeah, he's always has unnecessary hate. Like every time he puts a movie out, fucking Rob Zombie, blah, 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 blah. It's like, people like, what the fuck is like if you don't like his movies, then just don't watch them, dude. Oh, well, I like the Munsters, so I'm gonna watch it. Don't shut the fuck up. Obviously, it's not the original actors from the 50s, and like they're holding that against, like, well, it's not like the original cast. He's like, yeah, do you want the Munsters or not? Or not. I don't know. I have no stake in this. It was fine. It was a fine watch. It was like a Beetleborgs episode. It's lighthearted fun. Kind of like Hocus Pocus 2. I started watching that. I haven't finished it. I fell asleep. It was late. But from what I saw, it was fine. That's a whole nother conversation. It was fine. From what I saw from Hocus Pocus 2, the origin story of the Sanderson sisters, I would have liked that, a whole movie like that. I don't need to have them as adults or whatever, but I haven't gotten to that part yet. I didn't make it that far. I fell asleep. So, the Munsters. Have you seen the Munsters? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you tap out? Some people just tapped out. They're like, you know what? I made it 20 minutes. I made it 30 minutes. I had to tap out. And granted, at the 30-minute mark, I was kind of questioning it too. But when they left their original castle and they went to Los Angeles, that's when it kind of picked up for me. Because it's like a fish out of water thing. It was a different vibe. Other than that, yeah. What did you guys think of the Munsters? Coming up next, let's talk about Tarzan real quick. I'm not even a big Tarzan fan. I like Tarzan because he was in Kingdom Hearts, and you got to go along in the forest with him and shit. And Homeboy with the shoddy, right? What's his name? I don't even know. It's like George of the Jungle. We've had it. We've had a Tarzan movie before, from a few years ago, right? With Skarsgård right? He was Tarzan. I think I watched it once. Wasn't Margot Robbie in that? Yeah. Wasn't Margot Robbie in that movie? Wasn't she Jane, dude? What? I forgot about that. I legit forgot about that. So do we need another Tarzan? We don't need anything really. So, yeah. Let's get a Tarzan movie. Is it going to be as good as George of the Jungle? No. But do we have to hold that against it? Do we need another Planet of the Apes? We're getting one. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. But that's at least canon to the last trilogy, right? Found that out. Kind of off topic. Sick. I thought they were just gonna reboot it. Like, no, this is something separate. It's like, holy fuck, how many continuities do we need for the Planet of the Apes? If you're gonna do anything, bring back Tim Burton. Let's get a sequel. Bring back Marky Mark over here. Fucking Boston George over here. Fucking, I got the fucking Planet of the Apes guy. Fucking, I'm parked at the fucking Ape Central over here. I'm over here at the Avenue of fucking Planet Central in Boston Park in the Gardens. Come on, guy. Bring back Marky Mark and we get Planet of the Apes. You know, I don't know. Tarzan. I don't even care about Tarzan at this point. Let's get a Tarzan. Wasn't Tarzan Disney? How was Tarzan in Kingdom Hearts if he's not Disney? Is he open media? Is he what is it called? IP? Open IP? Anybody can do it? Because Sony got the rights to the movies apparently. What happened there, Disney? You just like, yeah, we don't need Tarzan. We're good. All right, we see you. What do you guys think about this Tarzan news? Let me know. Power Rangers. Yes. I rarely talk about Power Rangers, but the 30th anniversary of Power Rangers is coming up. And there's been rumors. Oh, the original cast, the Mighty Morphin cast is coming back for the 30th anniversary. It's confirmed. And then we got fucking the original Red Ranger getting arrested, raided for a fucking fraud COVID fucking scheme. Homeboy's got a federal charge on him. He had to go to court. We don't know what happened with that. He's doing cons still. Going around Comic-Cons. Oh, don't worry about it. Don't talk about it when I show up. On his Facebook, he's like, I'm not answer any questions about that. I'm still gonna take your money at the cons. Fuck, dude. And then we got JDF. Oh, I'm not doing Power Rangers anymore. I got this. I'm Eric Reed now. I'm the other Ranger, the not Ranger. The not Power Ranger character. Knockoff character. Come on, bro. Don't bullshit a bullshitter, homie. You know why people like you. You go to all these fucking Comic-Cons, Power Morphicons, signing comics. You go to all these comic stores, signing shit. Oh, but I'm done with Power Rangers. You over here profiting off Power Rangers while simultaneously saying you're done with Power Rangers. I'm Eric Reed now. He keeps saying that. Oh, I'm Eric Reed now. I don't need the Power Rangers. Apparently you do, motherfucker, because you keep doing the cons. You keep profiting off the brand, right? And granted, listen, I'm one of Tommy's biggest fans. I could say this. Don't bullshit a bullshitter. You want some money. He's getting divorced. I'm not talking about personal shit, right? I'm talking about Red Ranger getting raided or whatever. That's his personal shit. That was reported. Well, it was also reported he's getting divorced. He cheated on his wife, apparently. Listen. We're all men here. We make our own choices. I'm going to leave it at that. But all that bad press when it comes to the Red Ranger and the Green Ranger, they're not coming back for a 30th anniversary. They're not. And now it's official. It was confirmed on the Power Rangers page today on their Instagram. Officially, there's some other leaked kind of confirmed cast for the 30th anniversary. But we have a video from David Yost and the Black Ranger from Brink. I'm spacing out his name. Zach. Fuck, dude, I don't know your name, homeboy. Sorry, I don't remember your name. Oh, fuck, I feel like an asshole right now. Anyways. They're both coming back. The original Black Ranger and the original Blue Ranger. they are returning for the 30th anniversary. Walter, his name's Walter. I remembered your name, my guy. I remember your name, Walter. And your last name. Your last name, I don't know. Let me think about it for a little bit. Blue Ranger's coming back. Black Ranger's coming back. Blue and black. Blah, 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 blah. Now the rumor, great. That's so great. We never thought. Now David Yost, he's been writing the script, and he's like, people are like, we're gonna get the sequel to Power Rangers Mighty Morphin because David Yost said so. It's like, you guys, you are realizing he's using you guys to prop up his script to sell to like a Netflix or to Hasbro, because that's who owns them. He's using you guys as leverage. Saying, hey, look at all this. Look, they want it. Look at all this fucking shit. Look at all this hype that they want for the Power Rangers. It's like, listen, guys. He's not making his reboot show. He has some scripts, and he's trying to sell them. He's trying to use us, the fans, as leverage to sell his content, to his idea. He's hyping you guys up. Oh, we're gonna see Trini being brought back. Blah 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's using you guys to try to garner some hype so he can sell to the studio. Like, yo, same thing with Tommy with the Green Ranger. Oh well, I'm gonna come back, and he held it down. This is why I respect Jason David Frank. I respect him because he took the pay cuts all those years. He wanted to build that fan base with all the fans, you know, going to all the cons, coming back for all the episodes that he could. Dino Thunder, he came back for that whole series, you know. He expanded his character. Great. But as soon as you say you're done with Power Rangers, be done with Power Rangers. Okay? You can do your other Eric Reed stuff, your spin-off stuff, whatever, with Bat in the Sun, but don't do Power Morphicons. Don't try to profit off Power Rangers. It's like, bro, if you're saying you're so done with it, just be done with it. And if you're such an actor and you can hold up your own shit with the spin-off stuff, then do that. It's just, I don't know. That's like a whole drama. But then we also have rumors that Catherine Sutherland, the Pink Ranger from Zeo, is coming back. That's a rumor. And Trini's daughter, not her actual daughter, the character's daughter will be in the 30th anniversary. That's also a rumor. That's cool. We also have Steve Cardenas coming back. Cardenas, right? Cardenas? Steve. He's coming back. The Red Ranger that originally replaced Austin St. John is coming back to replace him yet again. Because I think they were all offered to come back. And for some reason, I think Amy Jo Johnson's, she is a director now. She's directing Superman and Lois. So her schedule probably couldn't be free to come back for the 30th anniversary. Because they have to fly to fucking New Zealand for that shit. And Superman and Lois, they film in Canada. So that's like a whole thing. And I don't know if I don't know if they're down to travel like that. Because that takes a lot of time. So I don't know. There must be a reason. Amy Jo said that she wasn't coming back a few months ago. Said that she wasn't coming back. So anyways, we're getting some Power Rangers for the 30th anniversary. We haven't heard much about this Netflix reboot. There's some leaks that going around saying it's not Mighty Morphin, but Zordon is still going to be there. And it's going to be the same colors, different names. They're going to do their own thing, but it's going to have its own vibe like the 2017 reboot, but not Mighty Morphin. Well, good luck with that. Good luck with that. Okay? Good luck. Mighty Morphin is peak. It's why Power Rangers is popular. It's what the whole world knows it for. There's a reason why they sold out this fucking Disneyland or whatever, Universal Studios, held up the freeway way back in the 90s. Everybody that's a Power Rangers fan knows the story. There's a reason, Power Rangers is where it's at. It's because it's Mighty Morphin. And it's carried the franchise for years. And every time it changes hands, whatever era you like, Disney era, fucking Saban era, whatever era of Power Rangers you were born into. I was born in like 94, so I grew up on Turbo, Lost Galaxy, The end of like in space, the end of the Zordon era was my shit. I tuned out. Time Force was like the last kind of era I paid attention to, right? I tuned out for a handful of years. I was maybe 15, 16. I tuned back in, caught up on Dino Thunder or whatever. You know, and then I'm 28 now, right? I went back 3 years ago and I rewatched everything up until fucking Ninja Storm or something. Like I did a full binge, man, and I had to tap out after like Ninja Storm or something. And then this last year I watched Mega Force. I'm slowly watching Dino Fury. Anything with dinos I fuck with, and they're referencing like all this old stuff they're referencing. I'll tune back in. What do you guys think about this Power Rangers news? I'm really excited because I like Zeo and all that stuff with the cast that replaced the original cast. The second cast, they're still OG to me, so technically, you know, I'll throw them in with the 30th. Like, there's a reason why they're coming back. And then we have Trini's daughter apparently showing up to kind of carry her legacy as well, so that's really respectful. Anyways, what do you guys think about this Power Rangers news? Let me know in the comments. And our last topic for today. Avatar. No, not James Cameron. Yes, James Cameron is doing Avatar 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever. But he's a savage, right? He's doing what I thought needs to be done. He's filming these movies back to back. He's knocking them out. So all they gotta do now is work on the editing and the VFX. The story's done and laid out. Film it like a huge movie. 4, 5, and 6, filming them back to back. I think he did 2 and 3. I think that's what he did. Bravo. But we're not here to talk about that Avatar and the Na'vi and all that shit. We're here to talk about Avatar: The Last Airbender. And no, I'm not talking about the other live action take on Avatar. Not Ung. I'm talking about the Netflix series Reboot. We have all of the cast now. 20 characters. The Cabbage guy is the same guy that voiced him, is doing it live action. That's respectful as hell. I respect. Everybody looks like their characters, you know. There's nothing is too off compared to the last movie we got. People are like, what is going on here? What's this cast about? All these people, they look like they could. It looks like they could exist within the context of what those characters are. I would have aged up Aang a little bit. I would have aged him up, but you know, this is a series, so they want him to grow up with like a Stranger Things type thing, like Harry Potter. They want him to grow into the role. I respect that. You know, just for me, they're adapting it. I would have made him like 13, 14. Just me. I still think it's going to be a good show. There's the cast is too stacked at this point, and you know, Netflix is knocked out of the park. Not to say that it's the same people making like a Sandman. They're not the same people working on Avatar, but Netflix knows how to curate content to a point. They put Squid Game on there, Stranger Things. You know, they know how to. There's a lot of shit on Netflix, but I'm hoping this doesn't end up like Cowboy Bebop. I don't want there to be a discourse between the Avatar fans, and there already is. Oh, well, the original creators were on the show, and now they're not on the show, so now we're not supporting the Netflix show. Like, that's already an argument. Like, if it's good, it's good. Let it be what it is. And if it's bad, then it's bad, guys. But we already have a terrible Avatar movie from like 2009 or whatever. And that was objectively bad. They weren't even pronouncing the characters' names correctly. It's objectively bad. The directing was terrible. M. Night flopped it. With this new one, we have to give it the benefit because it's 2022, 2023 is probably going to come out or whatever. I don't know the release date. It's a different era. We are in a different era. The Dragon Ball fans are scared of another live action movie. They're scared. They should embrace a live action movie in today's times. We have the MCU. We have DC. We have fucking Transformers now came out and did their thing. There's a standard already set for CGI. Dragon Ball Z is something you can easily do live action. Look at Man of Steel, the fights in the sky, same shit. Mortal Kombat, they flopped the bag too, kind of off topic. They could have had the elements of the MCU structure. That's what they wanted to do, but their fighting was whack. It should have been like the Raid or something. It was whack. But when you have like Avatar, the CGI, it lends itself better in 2022 than in 2009. Shang-Chi had airbending type fighting. It looked pretty good. So like we've seen this before. It can be done. Don't be scared, anime fans. Cartoon. Well, it's not anime, it's Nickelodeon. Whatever. It's anime. Cartoon. Whatever. Because people, Dragon Ball fans, anime fans, like, don't be scared. Cowboy Bebop. That was the most accurate adaptation you'll ever get of Cowboy Bebop. You'll never see another Cowboy Bebop live action series or movie. I'm calling it for at least 10 years. At least. It's done. It's done. Hope you're happy. Resident Evil. It's not an anime, but they tarnished their brand so much. They should have just... The movies was good for what they were. But the reboot movie, the show, they both flopped. Like, you have these things like boom, 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 and they're all failing. What do you do? What do you do? Anyways, Avatar. Do you like this cast? Are you happy for this Netflix series, or are you upset? And are you only going to watch the new stuff, the new animes, the new shows and movies that are coming out from the Avatar creators, the animated stuff? It's all that's coming back. We're getting spin-off shows, all that stuff. The Avatar Last Airbender universe is in full effect. We will just not see it for the next year or two, but we are going to get inundated with more Avatar universe stuff in coming years. Very exciting. I want all of it, even the Netflix version. But if you don't watch it in the first 2 days, it will not get renewed for season 2. That's exactly how they go off their analytics. That weekend, even the Sandman people were like, "Man, please watch it." This like first 2 weekends are like super important to Netflix. So, yeah, man, Avatar. I'm hyped for it. Cast looks great. A-list, not really, but there's some A-list. George Takei's in there. Bet. Comment below and let me know, and that will do it. Getting Geeked, episode 15. Yes. Killing it. What'd you guys think of these topics today? American Pie, Blade, Armor Wars, Deadpool 3, the Munsters, Tarzan, Power Rangers, all this shit today. Packed episode. Whole hour long. Boom. Let's go. Episode 15. I don't know if you over here in Boston got the Marky Mark over here. Fucking guy parking in Boston with his fucking tea and crumpets and shit. It's episode 15, guys. Episode 15. Go fuck yourselves.
Getting geek. Getting geek. Getting geek with Gary Allen. Getting geek. Getting geek. Getting geek with Gary Allen.